Welcome to the Runpreneur vlog, where we talk about all things entrepreneurship and running. So it is a brutally cold morning. It's feels like about -3. I can't barely feel my fingers. It's very foggy, but there's not too much wind, which is always positive. So I suppose okay running conditions. And it's a Saturday summary today, where we talk about the weekly update of the highs and lows of my journey as a serial entrepreneur. So as always, if you like these videos, please make sure you give them a like and a subscribe, and let's get into the detail. So, my journey as a serial entrepreneur, weekly update. Well, if I'm being brutally honest, this week has been a tough one. It's been a pretty brutal week. Lots of things that have kind of happened, we've had to react to, had to deal with, problem solving. You know, this is all kind of relatively normal stuff as a serial entrepreneur, but we've had so many positive weeks for the last 8 to 10 weeks, and this one's kind of hit me and knocked me for 6 a little bit. But when I look at the grand scheme of things and put a bit of perspective around it, it's not really been too bad, and we've got some contingency plans and stuff in place to how we're going to kind of deal with the issues that we've experienced. So without further ado, let's dive in to each business, let's go through what's happened, and let's see what you think. So in the usual order of priority as we work through these businesses, business number 1 is Property Empire Investments. It's our deal sourcing business. It's the first week, it might even be the second week. It's been nearly 2 weeks, I think, since we've made a sale, which is the longest we've ever been. But there is some reasons behind that. We made a sale the week before to an investor who bought 4 in advance, so we've just been kind of delivering those kind of 4 deals. So I'm not overly concerned about the demand, because we're also negotiating quite advanced stages with an investor who's looking to potentially purchase 100 plus units over the next 24 months, which would be the best part of a 600 grand contract, which would be huge for the business. But there's still a long way to go to get that over the line. The other thing that's kind of happened in the business this week, a couple of other negative points, is one, the government agency we're working with has kind of asked us to slow down our sourcing process while we deliver on the existing pipeline, because we've got a lot of properties in the pipeline going through kind of refurbishment, project management phase that haven't quite got to lease signage yet. So they've asked us to get some of these, focus on getting them through before we push more into the pipeline, which I suppose you can look at from a positive perspective as well, that it's going to give us a lot of time to really dive down on the project management side of the business, making sure we're delivering, and we have been delivering. It's just been slower than we perhaps would have liked, and I think there are some deadlines impending with the government agency, so focusing on the project management I don't think is a bad thing at all. Although the negative of that is that potentially won't be sourcing and selling deals probably now until January, which means it's going to be a pretty low month in terms of income generation in December. So that's a bit of a negative, but I think you have to look at opposing forces there and think, you know what, treat it as positive. It gives us a chance to kind of explore some of the other avenues within that business in the sourcing world. We've got some good collaborations that we're in discussions with as well, which are super exciting, and I'll share more when we get a little bit further down the line. So it might give us the breathing space to focus on that. We've still got to finish off servicing the existing demand for the investor that's bought 4 in advance. So we'll be finishing that off by the end of the year. So that's be good to get that kind of boxed off, and hopefully if we can close the investor who's looking at 100 units plus, is get that kind of over the line so it's in play for the beginning of January, and then we're back full steam ahead. So it's not a disaster, just little things you don't really expect, and we were doing so well in terms of sales and revenue generation, but you know what, it might just be a sensible kind of break just to kind of look at the process, how the project management side of things is going, and really kind of get that super streamlined and efficient now as we kind of move towards the end of the year. So the final negative in that business has been there's been some internal kind of issues with partners and members of the team kind of disagreeing on roles and work effort and those types of things. And this is, I take responsibility for this personally because I've put people in the roles, and I think ultimately we've got that wrong, or I've got that wrong, and we have corrected it. We've got a plan in play how to deal with it, but these are things that you just want to sort out to avoid any kind of longer term cracks in the team appearing, because make no qualms about it, a business is only going to scale and grow with the right team involved, and team is the big word there. If you're having disputes and fallouts, people aren't pulling their weight or doing the right job, then that's only going to cause personnel issues further down the line. So I've had to deal with that, and I think it's been solved. It was nipped in the bud quite early. We're basically moving someone who was predominantly focusing on sales into a more marketing role, which I think is a much stronger position for them. And we've got someone in the team who's got a very strong track record in sales and relationship building, account management side of things. They'll be kind of undertaking the sales side of things now. So we've got to just dot the I's and cross the T's on Monday's kind of management meeting. But yeah, that's been a little bit of a distraction this week as well, I have to confess. So yeah, overall pretty negative week in property and investments, but when you take a step back and see what we've achieved and the opportunities we've got ahead of ourselves, puts it in perspective and you think, well, wow, we've got so much potential here. Just running past someone, so morning. So business number 2, property empire builder. This is probably the one business that's gone from strength to strength. Excuse me. I think we explained we've launched our 2 Squared Academy. We did a webinar launch, and purely organic traffic. We managed to get 475 people register for a 500 capacity webinar, and 155 attend. And I think we made about 85 sales on the night, but the sales follow-up has now kind of gone out after loads of email deliverability issues that we've hopefully sorted now, and we've crept up to about 105 sales in total. Now conversion rates are high because it's a £1 for the first month and then £50 a month thereafter for 11 further months, so it's a low value product. I expect maybe 25-30% drop off after month 1 because people just want to get a look in, and some will say it's not for them. That's why the sales follow up and the continuing marketing of that using the evergreen webinar now is super important. And it's been, like I say, we've had another 20 or so sign up since just over a week, and that continues to kind of drip feed in, which is really, really cool. So that's been super good. The issue has just been the stress and the pressure of getting those funnels built with really, really tight timelines, and I think we've learned to give ourselves a bit more time for the next. But overall, it's now focusing on the delivery side of things and making sure that academy is good to go, ready to launch on the first week of January, so that we can get cracking on that, which is really, really exciting. So it's been really good, that business. Business number 3, my property business, had another move in, which I suppose is a positive. So the occupancy rate has gone up slightly. Whilst that application is being processed and goes into payment, the paying occupancy rate will then increase, which again is another positive. On the negative front, our block of flats that we were looking to sell, the sales just dragging on and on and on and on and on, and obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. So much so that I've had to put, it's still very much alive, but it's don't want to go this way. I think I want to go back this way. I missed my turning. I'm so constantly concentrating on my vlog. But yeah, so much so that I put a refinancing plan in place, and had a bit of a nightmare there as well, if I'm being brutally honest with you, because we had a valuation done, and the valuation was less than half of what it was valued back in 2017, and when we took out the existing finance. So a big shortfall there if we go down the refinancing of redeeming the existing lender who wants out of the deal. So we're having to look at ways in which we bring some of the portfolio in to refinance up the amount, and we're negotiating with the lender, which is not ideal by any stretch, but you know what, we have to find a solution, even if it's just temporary, whilst we're continuing with the sale, to kind of reduce the exposure on the existing lender. But that's been pretty traumatic and pretty stressful, kind of dealing with that, and we've still got a long way to go on it yet. So bit of a crunch week coming up on that, but I'll keep you posted. And if I'm brutally honest, that block of flats was nothing but trouble. That's the development that caused my original business partner and I to separate. A lot of things went wrong, a lot of unscrupulous behaviour kind of occurred throughout that development, which ultimately led to the breakdown in the business. And I wanted to see the back of it. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. I've now kind of looked at ways and means that I can keep ownership of it to try and actually get a return rather than it making a significant loss. But yeah, we'll wait and see. So that's a pretty big negative for this week. The fourth business is the Runpreneur vlog and social media content repurposing agency. Been relatively slow on progress this week because so much of our marketing team have been focusing on the Property Empire Builder funnel, but there's going to be some more focus on it this week. So pretty excited to see. Oh, muddy. And hang on, I've just got a sore foot because I'm running through stones at the moment, so my limbs are getting really numb. It's so cold out here today. But so progress has been slow on that, but we're hopefully going to pick it up again this week. Just 1 second, I'm just going to check I've got nothing in my... No, it's just my foot is that numb. So yeah, so hopefully we'll pick up the progress on that this week. And we're still on track to get our first beta client on board for the middle of December or towards the end of December, which we've already got secured. It's actually one of my business partners who's going to test it out for us before it goes ready for launch in January, which is super exciting. So then we'll be on to building the funnel for that, which is super cool. So that's Runpreneur. Then the fifth business is Property Empire Construction and Maintenance. Again, that's linked to Property Empire Investments and all of the ongoing kind of refurbishment projects we've got going, and all those side of things that we just need to get a bit tighter on. I think it's fairly apparent at the moment the contractors that we're using, although very good, they need to be slightly more micromanaged than we would like until they kind of get up to the standard that we're an understanding of what we expect from them. So a bit more kind of resources are going to be thrown at that over the coming weeks to ensure we hit our deadlines on the delivery side of things, which is super important. But yeah, that business is going pretty well, and when you think that all these businesses are so new, it puts it in perspective on how well we've actually done. So it's not all negative, it's just been a lot of reactive stuff this week, which has been super challenging. So that's pretty much all of them. The one big positive at the back of it is that I did my world record attempt to be the fastest male marathon runner dressed as a ninja. It was supposed to be at the real London Marathon. Obviously, it then ended up being virtual. There was no Guinness World Record adjudicator there, so I had to self-adjudicate. And the success rate of self-adjudication is so low. So much so I had to do a 4-hour social media streaming recording. I think I did 3 different GPS tracking devices. I had heart rate monitoring, I had power monitoring, I had I think 4 or 5 different people accompanying me to provide witness statements as well, and it was actually approved. So I'm now officially a Guinness World Record holder for the fastest male marathon runner dressed as a ninja, which is I'm super chuffed with because a lot of work went into that, and it's something that I'll always be able to say that I am officially a Guinness World Record holder, which I think is pretty cool, even though it is a bit of a Mickey Mouse achievement. But you know what, it took over a year's worth of hard work to achieve it, so anybody who calls it a Mickey Mouse other than me think about the work that went into it. But anyway, so that's a massive positive to end it on. So that's pretty much it for my week. It's been a pretty negative week, if I'm brutally honest with you, but mainly from the extent that the progress has been slow because I've been reacting to so much that's been going on. And I think when you take stock and you look at it from an overview, I think we're still doing super well, and I think for such young businesses to be as profitable as they have been is a remarkable achievement. And I think this is just part of the journey, highs and lows. You sometimes get distracted when it happens, thinking that everything's going wrong, but sometimes you have to take stock, put a bit of clarity around it to realise, you know what, we're still doing really well, and that's kind of what I'm taking from it. So that's it from me today. As always, if you've got any comments on this stuff, just drop me a message. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll still respond, but I'll just probably do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If it's not for you, just unfollow me, no problem there. But before you go, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you'll get access to all of these episodes in full version, nice and neatly catalogued by playlist, so you can dip in and out on an ad hoc basis. And do try and be involved in the Facebook Runpreneur community group, where all the free resources that go with this vlog will be hosted. So what's left to say is the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs, business owners overcome the emotions of stress, anxiety and overwhelm by using exercise, and in my case running, as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these emotions that every single entrepreneur and business owner experiences. It can often be the difference between success and failure, how an entrepreneur deals with these emotions. The ones that do it well will thrive, grow, move on to bigger and better things. The ones that bottle it all up, don't manage it particularly well, pressure starts building and building and building and building until something gives. And that's usually the entrepreneur or the business. Either or is often terminal to the likelihood of your business lasting the test of time. Now, I've been there, I've lost businesses because of this, I've been at rock bottom, I've been stressed, overwhelmed, I've suffered with anxiety in business, and it's not a nice place. And I've always said, do you know what, if this vlog just helps one entrepreneur or one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So my pledge to you is that, entrepreneurial pride is a real issue as well. People bottle things up, they don't feel they can trust anyone to talk to. Well, I've been there, and people have taken me up on this already. Drop me a message. There's no catch here at all. I'm not selling you anything, I'm not looking to drive you into a funnel or anything like that. All I want to do is help you, and if I can give you a handful of steps that you can kind of implement into your daily life to really get you turned around and back on the pathway to success, then that's mission accomplished as far as I'm concerned. So don't be too proud, reach out. So all that's left to say is, please, if you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. If you want to see more content similar to this, check out the playlist links below. And as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.